Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. Today we're going to play again with envelopes. I am using number 10 window envelopes, but you can use whatever standard size sort of long letter envelope that you have for these, and it'll be just fine. You might not be able to get the exact measurements, but it doesn't matter as long as you're close, just so that it fits in your journal is really obviously the big thing. So this page came out of my idea book. It's a big, huge, wide binder. I don't even know how wide it is. But anyway, it has all the plastic sheets in it. And then I just slide these down in there with stuff paper clipped, because I like to be able to take it out and look at it and figure out, you know, how I made it. Because you forget, especially when you get a binder full. It's, yeah, you take something out from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever, and try to remember how to make it. It's a lot easier if you can really look at it. So that's just how I do it. A lot of people make an actual journal and glue the pieces in just like you would a regular journal, but I like to be able to take them out and look at them. So that's how I do it. So the first one we'll make is this one, which, as you can see, becomes a belly band. I just glued this piece of book page here to give you, or, you know, to remember how I would do it. So if this was a journal page, you could have, you know, a decorative piece of paper here, or a piece of fabric, or whatever you want to be a strip that this could then hook onto. So let's do this one first. And then these ones are wraparound ones. So we'll do those in a minute. Okay, so with a number 10 window envelope, and like I said, if you don't have this, don't stress about it. It's just a long, thin envelope is all these are made out of. So I'm going to check and see how close it actually goes this direction, doesn't it? Because you can see I cut off some off of the ends of this. It's not as long as that. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is try to figure out. That looks to be roughly a ½ inch. It might be a little bit more or less, but like I said, it's not a big deal if you don't get, yeah, that's glued. If you don't get exact, it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, it's still going to fit in your journal and it's still going to be fine. So don't stress about the sizes that much. You're just cutting off roughly a ½ inch or so from the end, this end, okay? And then we're also going to end up doing that because the total length you want is 9. So I'm going to cut it to 9. I'm cutting the other end. I already cut the window end. I'm cutting the other end at 9. And then I also need to make it thinner because it's not this wide. You could do one this wide and it would work okay, but I've cut it, so that's what I'm going to do at 3.5. So it's 3.5 by 9. And we're cutting the flap and all that off because we don't need any of that for this one. And if you have my window envelope covers, you could, you know, fold it in half and then cut it to the same measurements and be able to do the same thing. If you don't have a number 10 window or a number 10 window envelope, but you have one of my covers, you could do the same thing. Just cut it, fold it in half, cut it 3.5 by 9. The only thing is you may have part of the other window, because I did on those covers, there's a window on each side of the page, so that if you want, you can cover this half and that half. But you could still fold it and then collage on the back so that you cover up the window. That's an option. Okay, then I need my scoreboard. And we're scoring at, I didn't write all that stuff down when I made this the first time, so we have to play this measuring game. 5 and 3, no, it's not 5 3/8. It's really hard to see. It's more like, we're going to say 5 5/8. Score it at 5 5/8. 5 5/8 is where I'm scoring. And you want to give it a pretty good score so that you can get a nice fold. And then you're going to be cutting some of that away, as you can probably see, because you can see the blue. But all of that can be covered up, especially if you don't glue your envelope closed until after you decorate it. I just want to make sure I got this as straight as I can. Otherwise it'll drive me batty. Okay, so that is that. And then you can see I didn't do these perfect with each other, these thumb notches, but it doesn't matter because they're hung over that little belly band, and you have a pocket on this side and then you have a pocket on that side, so it's not like it's not a big deal. But we're going to cut down from, I have to think about this for a minute. Basically, you're going to probably cut out, and because I'm saying probably because you're just cutting probably about 1/8 of an inch or so off of each side. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, so don't freak out if you feel like you can't get that amount or whatever. You're just cutting some off so that you've got a little bit of room to be able to grab whatever's in that pocket. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, try to cut about the same amount. And I definitely don't cut straight, so don't beat yourself up because you're right there with me. A lot of times on samples, I don't worry about them being like those thumb notches lined up and stuff like that, because it doesn't matter. It's just a sample. But when I make a real one, I do like to try to make it as even as I possibly can. So how are you guys today? I didn't even ask that. I just jumped in and started this. So I apologize for that. That was rude. Hugs and blessings to Cindy, Fern, and Pat. Love you guys. Thank you so much for always leaving kind comments and your support of my channel and my Etsy shop. I really appreciate it very much. Any kind of activity on my YouTube channel helps. Liking it, subscribing, commenting to each other, or giving thumbs up to each other, or whatever. Any activity helps. So I thank you all for that. Then we're just going to put our thumb notch roughly in the middle, or try to. I'm actually going to look at the back because I have a feeling I'm going to like punch the window or go too far into where the window is. I don't know if you guys, I have the windows open, but you can hear the birdies singing. Fabulous. And so to try to make this a little more even, since I can't like overlap them together, I'm gonna try to sort of put a dot where the middle is, or at least where the middle of the other side is. Yeah, so I went for a walk, went and ran my errands. Yeah, so it's been a lovely morning. Okay, so then what I would do is glue down this side and across the bottom, and I would glue down this side and across the bottom. And then I have a little, you could also put it over your page, like the top of your journal page, if this were a journal page. So if you don't want to do the belly band thing, you don't have to. You could just paper clip it right onto the page and have a pocket and a pocket. In that case, you're going to want to make whatever you put into the pocket be roughly the same, like not stick way out over. If you do a belly band, you can get away with a little bit more height, especially on this tag is where it might be tricky because it might hang up a little bit. But you can definitely put it over the page. I'm not going to glue this yet because I want to be able to decorate it. So there's one. I hope that was understandable. And then the next one is another 8.5 by 11. I think I cut this one already. So this one you can see is cut at 3.5 inches wide. So I take my, I'll just cut another one because I know it's going to be confusing for you if I don't, because that one is a little bit weird. I had to make sure I could figure it out before I got on camera. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do again is cut some off the end. And you can see, if you look at this one, there's a little more than 1/4, probably inch there. But again, it doesn't have to be exact. You're just cutting some off of the end. So don't stress about how much. See there, I did about 1/2, but it doesn't matter. And then we're going to make it, did I cut? No, and you don't cut off the other end. This pocket isn't cut at the bottom. It's just staying the way it is, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is cut it 3.5 across here. What's left is going to be 3.5 inches. So cut 3.5. Make it skinnier. Okay, and then we're going to cut at, I can't remember what this was, and I didn't write that part down. 5 1/8. No, 5 1/4, sorry. 5 1/4 is where you're going to cut it off at. So the side with the window, you're going to go 5 1/4 and cut. The goal I try to do, and I didn't do it with this one, is to try to get it even on either side. So I'm going to cut just a little bit more over here. Okay, and then now you have this and no flap because I cut it off. You don't want to cut the whole thing off because the flap is what is holding it together. Oh my goodness, we're going to start over with that one because I bungled it up, even though I did one of these beforehand. Isn't that insane? Okay, let's try this again. We're going to cut just a little bit more so that there's more like just over 1/4 inch on this side, okay? You want to try to cut so there's an even amount on each side of the window. It just makes it look better. That's what the deal was. That's why I cut it that way originally, and I had just forgotten. So I apologize for the confusion. I want to be able to see it better. Okay, so now I have pretty close to the same. That's fine. Now I need to cut 3.5 because I need this flap to hook it together. So I apologize, erase everything I did before. This one, cut at 3.5 now, not the other piece, because you need your flap. Okay. Yeah, you know, some days. And then we're just going to cut. Actually, I did cut on that one. I think I'm just going to fold this one over so it gives it a little strength. That, it just makes for a different style pocket. But you can cut it off. If you want to cut it off, cut it off. And I'm just going to glue this. Sorry for that confusion. I forgot I didn't cut that flap off. Try to make it the least confusing way possible, but it doesn't always work that way. Okay, so now your piece with your flap, we need to figure out what size it is. I think it's 3.5. So we're going to cut this. We're going to keep our flap, but we're going to cut this end of the envelope to 3.5. And then you're going to take that and hook it into there. Make it even. Let's see. That's how you hook them together, is with the flap. So don't cut your flap off like I did on the other one, okay? So I'm opening my envelope. I'm going to put a little extra glue on there because I don't want it catching on anything. That little glue strip that they put on isn't very helpful for journaling. And you could do it going the other direction too. You just have to flip your envelope around to do that. And try to, you know, get it evened up at the bottom so it's not all wonky. And then what I would do is glue it along this side and across the bottom. That'll give me a pocket here. And then when you open it, you're going to cover this most likely with some kind of decorative paper. So you're not going to have that opening. Just remember, when you glue on your piece of paper, don't be like me. And for example, you can take your piece of paper, cut it to size, just glue along there and on this white part. Don't put any glue on the blue part, or you'll glue your pocket. It'll be a short little stubby pocket. So make sure you just glue along the edge and on the white part to cover that. And then that will be your other pocket. And then you can do a thumb notch so that it's all pretty. Okay, I'm not going to do it because we'll decorate one, is what I want to do. And then the last one, so that's one of those two. The last one, we're going to score it first at 5 1/8. Well, no, we need to cut first. I keep forgetting that part. You got to cut it first. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, about the same amount, cut away, just leaving roughly 1/4 of an inch or so. And then take our scoreboard. So we're going to use this. Did I cut the other end of that one? It is cut. Hold on. I don't know why I did it that way. What is its total length? Sorry. Ay, ay, ay. 9. So then after you cut the side with the window, leaving like roughly 1/4 of an inch or so, a little less, you're going to cut the other side. Oh, well, this isn't long enough now, so we're just going to cut it open. I'm doing a bang-up job, guys. Now this one we definitely are going to cut at, I think it was, I'm going to cut it at 3 1/2. It's a little less than 3 1/2, but I want to cut it at 3 1/2. So I'm gonna. This one does get cut all the way across. Okay, then we can score it. So now you have this whole envelope that opens up like that. So cut off your ends. Really, however you want. It's not gonna, as long as it fits in your journal. That's the goal. Okay. I'm just gonna put it on here just as easier. So I have 3 3/4. That, I don't know. That other cutter just measures different. So 3 3/4, is that what I said? So right about there. And you're gonna fold it. This one's very similar to the first one we did, obviously, because instead of doing the belly band, you're doing the edge of the page. But it's basically the exact same layout. Okay, except this one has a top loading pocket and a top loading pocket. Since you're putting it on the side of the page, you want, you know, you want to be able to see that. But I don't want to cover, I don't want to do that yet because I'm going to cover it first. Okay. Hopefully you got all those. Hopefully that wasn't just utter confusion. So we have that one. I'm saving the ones that I wrote on. Those are my ones I'll put back, and I never glued that one together yet. So we have 3 different pockets that can be decorated, and I'll probably just decorate one of them up. I'm just trying to decide which one I want to do. I think I'm going to do the belly band style one. I think that would be a fun one to have. And I'm just going to use scraps. And if we do another one, I'll still just basically use kind of neutral scraps, simply because I know I'm working on kind of that patriotic thing, but I may not want to use all of these that I decorate in that. So I kind of just want some different scraps instead, because I can add onto it. But if you want to do a mask make, then you know, I think it's better to do the neutral colors, because then you can add to it later when you know what you're decorating with. Whereas right now you might not. You might be like me and be in between journals and just be like, I just need to relax and make something relaxing that I don't have to worry about. Do I have all the stuff printed out and all of those things? And I still haven't gotten that other digital in the shop. I will work on that this afternoon after I do this video. The pictures, the patriotic pictures and things. Yeah, it's fun to do some things in just your neutral scraps, because then you can just grab them and use them. And you don't have to worry about, is it going to match? Because you know, once you put a few decorative pieces on it, it'll be fine. You know what I didn't do is ink around that window, which I usually like to do, because I never get close enough, it seems like. So let's do some inking real quick. I know it's not the funnest to watch, but... So yeah, hope you guys are doing good. It is beautiful here today, and I think it's supposed to be this weekend, so I'm hoping it will be. I will probably just be a stress case all weekend, because my daughter she's got something to go to for her Kappa Kappa Psi, which is the band, fraternity, sorority, whatever. It's all one with Kappa Kappa Psi. So anyways, she is doing that, driving to California to do that. So that just makes me a nervous wreck. That's totally fine. I mean, they gotta do it, but doesn't mean it's my favorite. This is why I don't like doing the thumb notches at first, till the envelope's decorated. But yeah, other than that, all is good. Everybody's doing good. I think my food box is here. So that can go on there. These are from a Jewel Design, these strips. You're supposed to make washi tape. I just print them on paper because I just end up using glue with those anyway, so I figure what's the point of buying sticker paper and all that. I'll just put glue on it from the start and then don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to put you guys on hold for just a minute. I mean, you won't really notice a whole lot because I'll be right back, but I want to go get that food put in the refrigerator because it's kind of toasty out today. And it's iced, but... I shall be right back. Okay, I am back. Broke my fingernail. Some days. Just stay in bed. I have to break down the box to put it in the recycle bin and managed to do that. Talent, I know. So yeah, these are super fun. You could do, I mean, obviously just all different decorative ways. Really just throwing the idea at you, and of course you can run with it in whatever way you want. But it's a great way. I have loads of number 10 window envelopes, and I've been gifted window envelopes. So yeah, it's always a good thing for me to use. But like I said, you could do this with junk mail or any kind of envelope. Just a longer, skinnier envelope is best for, you know, the layout of these. But you can use what you like. Like I said, even the window envelope covers are great. So I don't know what I want to put right there. Just that little bit right there. And then I'll cover the inside too, probably, since I don't really want to see the blue. It has some Asian writing, and I have no clue what it says. So, hope there's nothing offensive. I wouldn't have a clue. I just love it. It's the coolest writing, I feel like. It's very artistic in my opinion. But I think you think that about anything that's novel to you, like you don't do on a daily basis, seems interesting, right? I think that's very true. Oh my goodness, stuck to me. Well, come on. Okay, there's that, and then we're going to cover in here. And I'm, like I said, I'm not putting anything necessarily decorative. I might put one like this bottle, might be kind of cool though, just to have, you know, a little something. I don't know how we'll see it, but let's try. This is out of that Sears. Well, you can probably see at the top. I have that. I have no idea what this stuff is. Pile cure? What does that even mean? I probably don't even want to know. Anyway, there it is. We're going to cut it here and here. Who knows if it even worked, right? Oh, for eczema, cuts, and bruises. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. I was a little worried. I didn't know what in the world it was. I mean, you don't have to have it cover. I guess I don't have to have it cover the whole inside here. You really just need where the window is, but I'm just gonna, and up here. We're just gonna do that. I just don't really want the blue. If you had a journal the blue went with, or if you had the ones that have the black, they look kind of cool with a manly sort of a journal. This part. What is that called? Security. The security envelope. My son, and well, my daughter has it too, but my son has the worst eczema. Ugh, kid. But it's gotten a lot better since we figured out his gut issues. So if you have a grandchild or a child or whoever, I did it upside down, you guys. Oh no, I didn't. This is that other one. who has eczema and any type of stomach issues. My son can't have gluten. But he doesn't have celiac. So that's why it took us so long to figure it out. It's been a nightmare trying to figure that out. But anyways, he finally did get it figured out. And his eczema has cleared up considerably. So if you know, like I said, a grandchild that has that, look into gluten issues, because a lot of times it has nothing to do with your skin. It's your stomach. It's your gut. And he started taking probiotics too, and that helped a ton. But that went on for years trying to figure that out. So yeah. Anyways, it's good now. But that was a pain to figure out. Because he'd stop eating bread, and he still is lactose intolerant too. So between both of them, it just was very, like, cryptic, I want to say, because we couldn't figure out what the problem was, and he'd stop eating stuff and still be having problems, and I don't know, it was just... It really comes down to he's the one that had to decide that it was driving him crazy enough to stop, because trying to get kids to stop eating bread or any of those kind of things, and I would tell him, no, you can't eat it because it makes you sick, and he would be like, it's not that, it's something else. And you know what I mean? You kind of have to decide yourself in order to, because like I said, you know, all of us love to, or most of us anyway, like eating like pasta and bread and things like that. And he loved making bread and eating bread, and so it just took forever to figure that out. But I mean, it makes sense now that I hear that. But at the time, I had no clue that could be tied to each other. Like, I didn't even, you know, I don't have a medical degree or anything. And we've taken him to the doctor a million times, and do you think they could ever figure it out? No. So, anyways, that's what it was, and has gotten so much better since he quit. He's just quit gluten entirely. He doesn't eat any. And because of that, the lactose thing has gotten better too. I think his stomach was just such a mess. It didn't know what to complain about except everything. So, yeah. But eczema is tied to all that. So all of it has gotten better. All right, so see, those are pretty cool. So I'm going to glue that now, because whatever I decorate with, you know, we'll decide what journal it goes into. But for now, at least, it's kind of just a cool little pocket. And then you could, in here, it might be a good idea, I'm going to glue this too. And see how I went over the window? It doesn't bother me if you're not going to see the other side of the window. The only time I try to get real picky about that is if I'm going to see the other side of the window. Because, man, it's a pain to get it all perfect with nothing showing on the other side. I mean, these are cool because you could just plunk a flower on there, a photo, whatever, and it would look really neat. this part though, I would probably put maybe some coffee dye on, because you could take it out of the belly band and write on that part. So I think it's kind of a cool spot to put this. Posh is snoring. He's laying in the window, in the sunshine, because it's open and all the birds are out there singing away, and he's snoring. He's got the rough life, let me tell you. The rough life. That paper seems very crooked, like it must be the coffee dye, because it seems very wonky. And then I didn't tear it right either. But that's what inking's for. All the people that don't use ink, I don't know how you do it, because it covers up a multitude of sins, let me tell you. Good stuff. Plus, I just feel like stuff isn't finished until I ink it. I'm going to put this in here. Somebody was saying a magnet. That also is fantastic. I've seen people do that. I just don't know that I'd remember to do that either. That's the whole problem, is me remembering. Fantastic ideas, though. I just need to figure out how to get my brain to pick it up off the table and put it into whatever, or onto whatever, to make it so I can find it again. That's where the glitch lies. Yeah. I just need a keeper is really what it comes down to. But I don't like being told what to do, so that probably won't help either. Oh my gosh. I had to tell my son when he was a teenager one time, he's in the back of the car trying to tell me what to do. I don't even remember what it was about. But I said, I've lived with my father, and then I've, you know, went from my father to my husband's house. And I don't need my son telling me what to do too. He can be a bossy pants, that one. That child. He comes by it honestly, though. I think that is... we all kind of tend to like to be right, unfortunately. Okay. There it is. 'Tis done. I hope that made some sense to you guys, because I know that was kind of a mess, because I haven't done those in a while. But yeah, three different styles to do. So I think they're a good thing. So we have the one that goes over the page. Let's do the ones with the thumb notches so that we can see a little better. So it goes over the page, and you can paper clip it, or you could glue it too. And then if you glued it onto the page, you could not only have this pocket, but you could have a pocket behind it. So if this was my page like that, and I put it down near the bottom, I could have that pocket where the window is, and then a pocket behind it. And then I could turn the page, and I could have that pocket in there, and you could do a side pocket or another top pocket. So that's that one. And then this one would have to go probably on this page. And again, you could just paper clip it or glue it and have a pocket here, and have this as a, like, glue two sides and have just a tuck. And then on this page, it would be, well, for this one, I did that in the wrong place. You could make this a flip, glue that side down and have this side be a flip. That's another possibility. But if you put your thumb notch on this side, you could have two pockets, either one on the side, you know, one in the top, or two in the top. So there's another one. And then the one with the belly band, or over the top of the page. So you choose. Over the top of the page, like so. Or where'd that belly band? And of course, that belly band doesn't have to be at the top of the page like mine is. I just did that so that I could put it on the page, but you could have it obviously centered more. This was just for putting it into my book. So I hope you guys enjoyed that idea or ideas, and I hope you make some. And I will chat with you again tomorrow. Love ya. Bye.